Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It's Josh here with another Pantasy set review. This is the Pantasy Retro Phone Set number 85018, and it comes with 680 pieces and retails for $69.99 on Pantasy's website or $54.99 on Amazon. As always, I want to thank Pantasy for sending the set over for review. If you're interested in checking it out or any of their other products, you can find a link in the description below. This set had a pretty standard building process. There were 9 bags labeled 1, 2, and 3 for each different phase. It took me right around 2.5 hours to complete this build, and it wasn't because it was a complicated build. I actually wasn't paying attention to the instructions and put a piece on the wrong side and then had to go back and unassemble it and completely reassemble it to get in the right spot. If it hadn't been for that, I probably could have completed this in right around 2 hours. As always, Pantasy's instructions were precise and easy to follow along. There weren't any remarkable or new techniques used in this, but there was a lot of really cool piece usage. For instance, I really liked the use of the barrel pieces and the gear pieces on the receiver. If you look at the source image that they were basing the model off of, you see that they got the color scheme perfect. I really love how the gold pieces pop off of the dark brown. This set would pair perfectly with the retro gramophone, which I don't own, but looking at them you see that they were designed to be displayed together. Now when looking at the functionality of the set, I'm going to admit that I have zero clue how retro phones work, so I'm really just going to be analyzing if it does what Pantasy says it's supposed to do. Starting with the receiver, you're able to take it off of the phone cradle to answer incoming calls and hang it back up on the phone cradle. The phone cradle has a flexible mechanism that allows it to rebound when you place the phone back on. From my limited knowledge of retro phones, I'm pretty sure this is exactly how it's supposed to work. The thing I do remember about retro phones is how to make an outbound call. In order to make a call, you would put your finger in the first number of the phone number and turn it, and then the phone would turn back, and then you put your finger in the second number, turn it, and then the phone would turn back, and so on and so forth. Pantasy did design the set to be able to recoil back to the original position, but I was having trouble getting it to do so. The rubber band, which is supposed to snap the rotary dial back to its original position, often slides off of where it's supposed to be, causing it not to work. When it's in the correct position, it does snap back like it's supposed to. You just have to be really gentle when turning the rotary dial because it easily dislodges it from where it's supposed to be. The third and final function is that you can turn the gears on the right hand side and simulate the ringing of the phone. When you turn the gears, you can see the pendulum at the bottom swing and hit the bells. The overall design of the phone is spectacular. As I mentioned before, if you look at the source image, this is pretty much as identical as you're going to be able to get with a brick built set. You can tell that they took a lot of time to make sure they captured every single detail. I will say that the phone is a little more fragile than some of the other Pantasy sets that I've reviewed up until this point, but I do think that there was no other way around it just because of the shape of the phone and the pieces that they were going to have to use to create it. Other than the rubber band slipping off of the piece that it's supposed to be attached to sometimes to snap the rotary dial back into place, everything works as it's supposed to and as marketed. The rotary dial does turn, the gears move smoothly, and the phone cradle rebounds when you take the receiver on and off of it. The one critique I have of this build is at the bottom of the phone. I think we'll call these pieces the legs for a lack of a better term. I don't like how the legs aren't attached to the rest of the build. If you look at the source image, it's supposed to be a pretty smooth curve, and obviously there are limitations with building with bricks, but I do think that little gap there kind of detracts from the rest of the build, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. One of my favorite parts of the design though is the printed pieces. I really love how they captured the gold engravings of the retro phone near perfectly on these printed pieces. It's still amazing to me that Pantasy creates printed pieces for sets as small as this one, and LEGO put stickers in the UCS Venator. Like, I just don't understand that. It's mind-boggling to me that a company of the size of LEGO can't create printed pieces for all of their sets. I really think that just shows how much Pantasy cares about the quality of their product compared to LEGO. Now you all know what time it is. It's time for my final thoughts and my traditional letter grade. I'm going to give this set an A-. To me, it's a nearly perfect set, but there are a few flaws that knock it down from an A+ to an A-. I do wish that the rotary dial did snap back to where it was supposed to be every single time, and that the rubber band design wasn't as finicky as it is. I also wish that the legs attached to the rest of the build and that more effort was put into making that curve rather than having that awkward gap that is there now. Despite those minor flaws, this set looks amazing and is going to go great on the display shelf. I think this set really sums up how much Pantasy cares about getting each and every single tiny detail right as best as they possibly can. Plus, it's great to see at least 15 different printed pieces where LEGO would have given us all stickers in a set of this nature. To wrap things up, I just want to thank Pantasy one last time for sending this set over for review. If you're interested in purchasing it or any other Pantasy set, there's going to be links in the description below. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the Pantasy Retro Phone and if you'll be picking up a copy. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss when I drop new content. I have another Pantasy set review coming out pretty soon. As always, you know I appreciate your support, and I'll catch you guys next video.